Hi guys, it's Carissa. I woke up this morning and my stomach felt a lot less bloated than it has been, but it still feels really achy and it still feels, I don't really know how to describe it. It's not really a bloated feeling, it's more like a can't breathe well or like pull my stomach in, just because everything down there is like, it almost feels like how my face feels. It feels swollen and sore, but not bloated. So it's kind of nice because I slept a lot better last night. And then today, Mike kept asking me yesterday and this morning, he even before work said, you know, please take a day of bed rest, pretty much. So I went to Target this morning to walk around a little bit, and there were a couple of things that I needed to get, and I thought I'd rather do it myself and get a little bit of activity, and then I would take the rest of the day and just lay low. I had to work this afternoon for a couple of hours, but basically from like 1:30 to about 5, I slept. I laid around in bed and I just slept, and I slept well. I sleep so much better during the day than I do at nighttime, no matter what. So that was really nice. I am still dealing with some constipation. I haven't taken anything for that since the other day, and I think what I'm going to do is do that tonight or tomorrow, because I think that that's a lot of the discomfort, or not a lot of it, but that definitely doesn't help. And but other than that, I feel pretty good. I definitely remember last time having horrific shoulder pain, which I hope at this point, I could be wrong, but I hope if I haven't gotten it by now that it's not going to happen, because it was from the air, the trapped air in my abdomen rising to my shoulder level. I did some research on it last time, and apparently it's very common and it's normal, but you just don't really hear people talk about it. I think that a lot of times women just feel so terrible in general that they just take that as one of the things that they're feeling. I don't know. But I was in tears from how bad it hurt, and I'm very tolerant of pain and discomfort, and it had me up all night one night. So I think if I haven't had that happen by now, that I'm in the clear. And if that's possible, I am so thrilled, because, you know, as I said, Mike told the doctor to really be aggressive about things and make sure that he got as many eggs out of me as he could, because last time he barely tried. Just because of the positioning of my ovaries, I know that he was nervous to fish around too much, and he had to have Mike press on my stomach, and he had to have my arms held down, and so I know that they put me through a lot in order to get the 20 eggs that they got, but I couldn't be happier with that. I have had some time to let that sink in. I try not to think about it too much, because I don't want to feel too excited or too hopeful, because it makes it feel like I feel foolish feeling excited. I think anyone who's done any kind of treatment before for fertility problems, specifically IVF though, because I think, you know, IVF is the end of the road. After that, you're dealing with either donor sperm or donor eggs or surrogates. The IVF is the last resort for you yourself to have your own child. And I think that when you know the things you know about it, you feel like, how could it not work? And then when you know what some women have been through, and how some women have been through that same process over and over again and it still doesn't work, then you think, how could it work? And it just feels so overwhelming, pulling from good and bad, that I have been trying really hard not to think about it. I've been focusing so much on just getting to transfer day, because who knows? I mean, I wish there was a way to check like an online report or like go into my portal and see what's going on with our embryos, but I know that that would just feel obsessive and I would just want to check it constantly, and all I can do is just hope things are going well and pass the time until transfer day. My biggest concern right now is just making sure that I get back to a place where I feel well and I feel comfortable, really. And I am also not pushing myself too hard or being too hard on myself, because I know that I went through a lot and sometimes I forget. So I'm kind of amazed by the list of medications I'm on. Of course, I don't love being on a ton of drugs, but I have to go through a checklist every day and I check everything off. Granted, some of it is just like my prenatal vitamin and baby aspirin, but then there are 3 medications that have to be vaginally administered. Did you like that? An appropriate hand gesture? And 2 of them in the morning, 1 of them at night. So I basically am round the clock leaking out of my vagina. And let me tell you, the Lovenox, is that what it's called? Lovenox? That's no fun. I am no stranger to injections, but there's something about that needle. It feels thicker and it seems more stubborn to go in. And it's not a nice injection. I mean, I'll do it. I'm not complaining, but I think that once you get to this point, that's one of the things you look forward to, is to not having to do stuff like that, unless you're on injectable progesterone. But I am not. I take my progesterone with my estrogen. Sorry, I had a really hard time thinking of the word. I read somewhere or heard from a video, I don't remember where I heard this little gem, but it's actually pretty brilliant, that somebody's doctor told them to put the estrogen pill inside the applicator for the progesterone, so that when you insert it vaginally, you're putting both drugs as far back as you can without having to like put your whole hand up there and come out with blue fingers and all that stuff. So that's working really well. I've been doing that the last couple of days and I'm pretty impressed with that. So everything's good. I feel really good. I think my biggest struggle right now is not knowing what, well, this is getting kind of long, but I'm not sure if I should put back 1 or 2. I guess it's not because I feel like 1 is a sure thing, so why not only do that? I guess it's because I know some couples, their goal is to have twins. And that's not really our goal. It would be a beautiful thing. It would be so wonderful if that was the case. But I also am thinking, if we have the luxury of freezing embryos, what's the harm in trying just 1? Because I know that some women, some doctors, I should say, not women, but some doctors claim that getting close to the point of, or having mild hyperstimulation actually helps initiate a pregnancy. And I know that some doctors think that that's the reason why it doesn't take, and that that's why frozen cycles are more likely to work. So in my mind, I don't know if that means, am I just feeling like I'm just throwing away 2 embryos because maybe my body is feeling too traumatized right now to take on a pregnancy. Assuming there isn't some other mystery thing that's wrong with me, or that's wrong between the 2 of us. So I'm leaning towards 2 just because I feel like that's what Mike wants, and his opinion matters a lot to me as well. I think that he really would like twins. I think that he is, certainly if there were ever a man to have twins with, it would be my husband, because he is a machine. He is just so hardworking and so good about being involved in all aspects of our home life. Just taking care of the house, taking care of me and all of our pets. Some of you may not realize we have a lot of pets, but basically what we do is we almost feel like we're just taking care of them, giving them really good lives, and because that's just something that we want to do and we want to provide. And that's kind of how I see him as a father, but even more so, even more involved. So I don't have any hesitation there. It's like he said a long time ago once, when we wanted to get a dog, I wanted to consider getting a bulldog. But I said, bulldogs really have a lot of health problems, and they don't even live very long, some of them. Whether it's because of health complications or just because of the breed. And Mike said that shouldn't be a reason not to get them, because all we can do is make them happy and comfortable while they're alive, because that dog is going to be alive regardless, but it might be living with people who don't care as much or don't try as hard, and at least then we know that we're giving it 100%. And that opened my eyes up to what kind of person he is and how he thinks and how he reacts to things. And it just made me feel so proud to be his wife and to potentially have a family with him someday. So I feel like I'm excited for the opportunity to potentially have 2 babies, but our goal is just to have anything stick, anything. And I know that sometimes the thought of everything being so close and us being so close to the end of all of this right now makes it feel so much more exciting and frightening altogether, because it could all be over in a few days, But in a few days, we could also have so much more hope. So until then, I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing. I feel like some of you have been so wonderful to leave me messages, and some of you I know had even said to me that you can't even wait until transfer for an update, or that you just really want updates as often as possible. So I know I probably didn't have anything too interesting to say today, but I do like the idea of staying in communication with you, and it does make me feel more calm and centered just to be able to talk through my feelings. And my last video cut off. I tried to splice it together because Mike called and interrupted the recording, and I recorded a quick ending, but a few people said that it cut off. Basically, I was just thanking you all for being so involved in this with me, and just the outpouring of love and support. It just keeps growing, and it keeps encouraging me and making me feel like it's okay to be sad when I'm sad, and it's okay to be overwhelmed when it happens. But when I feel good, it's because a lot of the time I have all of you just providing me with so much love and encouragement, and it's just, I could never ask for it. And but yeah, here it is coming to me, and so I really, really appreciate it. And I just said a brief thank you to everyone between Instagram and my YouTube, Facebook, which I'm trying to be better about being on there and posting on there. But some of you, you find me, you are in touch with me, and just thank you. Thank you so much, because it means a lot. And a lot of you, I know who you are. If you've commented even a few times, I remember you, and it's just so nice to know that you're still with me and that you're still invested in what happens with us. So that was really all I said at the end of that video, and I'm sorry I didn't check it before my memory on my phone gets filled up so quickly because I'm bad about deleting pictures, and if my memory is too full, it cuts off the end of my video. I don't know why. I don't know how that even has one thing has to do with the other, but I will make sure that my memory is not too full before I post this. And if there's anything else I feel like chit-chatting about between now and transfer day, I'll post again. But thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.